then somebody else is a pawn, and a time. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, yeah, boys, we're gonna be playing Fortnite. A pawn. There. Cunt. A cunt. Yeah. Was.
Cunt.
Because.
There's Reese.
Was.
Yeah. There's my control.
Like.
There's my
Brooklyn.
There's my other There's my wardrobe.
Broccoli.
Is.
A.
Food. Or many trees.
Full stop.
Whatever. Full stop. We ended this. What's it called? Story time. Now let's have a thing where the stories are real. Okay.
Oh yeah, we do.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll start. It was a night like tonight, and this guy was in. This girl was in his house babysitting.
Guys.
This is a true story. She was in her house babysitting a child, and in every second she walked up to the mirror. She looked out, and there was a girl outside.
I got a rocket. I got a snow launcher.
The baby started crying, and then she said she wanted an ice cream, and then the baby fucking. And then when she got the ice cream, the baby started crying again, and then she said she wanted flakes.
Guys, I'm sorry about being so loud right now.
And then last time, when she got the flakes, the baby stopped crying.
Guys, let's go here.
And then she went out and looked at the mirror, and
Salty Springs.
the girl outside wasn't out on the road. She was always behind her. And the reason why the baby stopped crying is because she was killed.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Very scary.
Okay, this is a true story, yeah?
No, let me say mine. Let me say mine.
Alright.
Yeah. Brooklyn's.
On any night like tonight, it would be in Ireland, raining and stormy.
Yeah.
There was this
it is
man
right
who lived in a lighthouse, like one that's near a beach,
no.
and he had 3 daughters, and he sent him to bed. And also the man enjoyed doing puzzles, so he came home with a puzzle.
Brooklyn, you're fucking creeping me
and then
out
after he sat down, and he opened the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brooklyn.
He created his own puzzle.
Yeah, and when he got home, he opened it. Yep. So then after he opened it, he started doing it, and he did the first half. It said 1. Okay, and then he heard something, a screaming from one of his daughter's rooms. So he ran and went there, and when he finally got to his daughter's room, she was dead. But the man didn't feel sad. He just went back upstairs and continued with his puzzle. He finished the second part of his puzzle. It said 2. He heard another scream. It was his other daughter.
Quick, Brandon!
It was his other daughter being killed. He ran to get her, but he was too late. He was too late. He was too late. So then he returned to the puzzle upstairs. He finished the final part of the puzzle, and it said 3. And he said 3.
In 7 days tomorrow.
He heard a tapping on the window. He turned around, and there was a clown at the window.
Oh my god.
There was a clown at the window. He looked back at the puzzle and the puzzle had turned into the clown. He ran down to his third and final daughter to find that she had already been killed.
Oh no.
I'm actually like shaking right now, Ish.
Same.
I got goosebumps.
Hey, Brendan, kick Matthew.
Yes.
It's fucking creepy though.
That's creepy.
Hey Brendan, kick Matthew at the party.
I think you might want to kick me if I tell you another story.
Hang on, hi Ezzy Bear.
No, tell us another one, Brooklyn. Tell us another one.
Okay,
Wait, hang on, no,
another
it's
one.
my turn. It's my turn.
No, let's
my
let.
turn.
Okay, Brendan,
This
it's
is
your
a
turn.
really scary story, this. Okay. Right. So once upon a time, right, this is a true story, right? There's this like woman person, yeah?
Hey, smell my turn.
Oh, hang on guys, I'm going back in.
Wow.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
I'll tell you another story. Now, at night like this, two parents went out for dinner and left their two children with a babysitter. When the parents left, they sat down and watched some TV, and there was reports of a crazy killer going around chopping off people's legs. So then after that, the children got scared and she sent them up to bed. When they were laying in bed, they heard screaming from downstairs, so they barricaded their doors and did not let anything in or out.
With ties.
No, with their beds. Barricade the doors
that's very
with their
smart.
beds.
That's very smart.
Brendan.
With their beds.
Yes.
And then they started hearing something. Thud, thud, drag. Thud, thud, drag. Thud, thud, drag. The kids were getting even more scared as the sound approached them. Thud, thud, drag. Thud, thud, drag. Thud, thud, drag.
The killer was saying.
Then about
What the
5
killer was saying. Fud, drag.
No. Then about 5 minutes. Then about 5 minutes later, this noise has stopped. Then after that, 2 hours later, their parents came home, and they knew it was instant. They instantly knew it was them. They unbarricaded their doors and opened it to see that their babysitter had her legs chopped off, and she was dragging herself up to warn them that there was the killer.
What the hell, Brooklyn?
I know some messed up stories. Wait, is this like RPGs only? What the hell, Josh?
I took your only gun, man. I'm great.
Yeah, that's my damage trap. It's not even called a spike trap. It's called a damage trap now.
Yeah, I know, it's stupid, innit?
Because it actually doesn't kill you straight away.
Whereas in real life, I'm bloody down.
I'm gonna go downstairs and
snowball launcher. Alright.
What the hell?
Brooklyn.
Josh, help!
Brooklyn.
He's in the house. He's in the house.
Fud, drag, Brooklyn. Fud, drag.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not sure tell you a story. So anyway, right, this old woman was walking, right? And she started speaking to this woman, and she asked where she lived. So the woman said where she lived, and that she had 2 daughters, right?
Oh no.
And then this woman, she was super sketchy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, so this younger woman who wasn't super sketchy, she went home, right? And her boyfriend was missing, right? So
Yep.
she kept kind of ringing and stuff, right? And something answered, right? And it said it sounded like that old woman that she was speaking to earlier, right? And then she looked to her like slidey door thing, right? There was nothing there, but there was tapping on that window. So she went upstairs and went in her daughter's bedroom.
Yeah.
And she sat in there with her daughter. No, she sat with her daughters. She said, "Stay here. I'm going to get some water from the bathroom."
Can you know?
Right? And then, so she went to get the water from the bathroom. She came back. One of her daughters was dead on the bed, and the other one was gone. Right? So she went downstairs to ring the police. Right?
Who's that?
And then she went downstairs, put in the police, and I'm going to continue. Then, so she rang the police, she looked at the door, right? That old woman was stood there with her dead daughter's head in her hands, talking about her.
Why do you kill the TV?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna tell you a story. My dog has a nasty habit of scratching the door in the middle of the night.
Oh,
One evening,
Stop this, man.
stop. One evening, she wouldn't stop scratching the door for no reason. After calling her 5 times, I threw a pillow towards the door to make her stop. That's when she barked from right beside me. She'd been next to me the whole time.
Oh my god, I'm actually shivering, man.
what?
Okay, here's another one. When I was little, every night when the lights were turned off and I went to sleep, two dark forms would descend from the ceiling near the doorway into my room. They walked quietly up to my bed and one stood on each side of my headboard looking at me. I would cover my head with the blanket until one day I had the courage to tell my mother. She put a lamp in my room and told me to pray and ask them to leave. I sleep with the lamp on all the time, on all the night to this day.
No, good man.
Continue, Brooklyn.
Okay. I don't know.
Messed up stories, yeah. Okay, stop telling stories. I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna go down the stairs and get something.
Alright, we'll wait for you.
Okay, let's tell more stories, Brooklyn. Your stories are more interesting.
Wait, Eddie Bear.
Eddie Bear
Okay.
left.
Alright, that's fine.
Is she a girl?
Yes.
Oh.
My brother's
Okay,
friend.
a minute. Oh crap, yeah, I forgot to return to lobby.
Anyway, Brooklyn, continue with these stories, man. I want to hear them.
I make a whole half
On one morning,
Come on, Brooklyn, you're
on
keeping
one of
my people in.
On the morning of her birthday, Lucy's mother woke her up and told her a package had arrived in the mail and it was addressed to her.
Oh,
The girl hurriedly unwrapped the gift and was horrified at what she found inside. It was the most disgusting old doll she had ever seen. It was completely bald and its skin was cracked and caked in dirt.
Oh, I hate
The worst,
those. I fucking hate those.
the worst thing of all was its teeth. It was its teeth. They were long, pointy, sharp, and beastly. They looked like animal fangs. With a shiver, she took the doll and threw it in the corner. Her mother scolded her, telling her someone had gone through a lot of trouble to send her this antique doll. Her mother told her she'd better appreciate it. Lucy tried to protest, but her mother would not listen. She forced the young girl to keep the doll, so to put it at Lucy's stuffed antique doll into the cupboard under the stairs behind a pile of shoes. She wouldn't have looked at the ugly evil thing. It was not until a few nights later, when Lucy was lying in bed, that she heard a noise shuffling around, which went about for 5 more minutes. Then a brief dragging noise then a brief dragging noise and finally a scuttling like footsteps very fast. By now Lucy was shaking in her bed with fear, unable to move. Then she thought she heard a faint raspy voice whispering quietly from downstairs. Lucy always slept with the door open and the landing light on, and as she was scared of the dark, she heard the voice say, "Lucy, I'm on the first step." Then loud scrabbling again, as whatever was speaking apparently turned tail and returned to the place of its hiding. And returned to its place of hiding. Lucy was so scared that she didn't sleep a wink that night, but laid in fear until the break of dawn, when her mother got her up for school. Lucy tried to explain to her mother what had happened. Where are we going?
Keep on going. Keep telling
Lucy
us your story,
tried to
Brooklyn.
explain to her mother what happened the night before. But was so terrified when her mother passed it off as just a dream, she began to believe it might just be the case.
Oh no.
Of course it wasn't Lucy. Lucy begged her parents to let her throw the antique doll in the garbage, but they insisted that it was a present and she had to that she had to keep it. Wait, why am I only getting snowball launchers? That she had to keep it. She had to keep it. She had literally no choice. To keep it. So Lucy reluctantly went back to the bed, telling herself that it had only been a dream. She checked the cupboard under the stairs, but the doll was exactly where Lucy had left her. Okay, yeah, had left her. Lucy, I'm on the 4th step, it said. Then it came. Then came to scuffling noise, and the voice didn't occur that night. Lucy was crying by now, and again she didn't sleep that night. And she didn't sleep that night. 1 minute.
Blow it up.
And she didn't sleep that night.
Come on, Joe. Gotta make a whole helper.
That she didn't what?
Brooklyn, you can continue.
Where the fuck are you? Shut up over there.
Oh, Brooklyn, your story.
At school, Lucy
scared my views away.
Sorry. At school, Lucy told her friends about the doll, and of course they laughed at her. Lucy could only think if the doll was climbing 4 steps at a time, then there was only one more night to go. That night, Lucy shut her bedroom door. When her mother turned the light out, she asked why Lucy was no longer scared of the dark. Lucy replied that Lucy replied that she was and could leave her light on instead of the hall light, but her mother pointed out that her bedroom light was so bright it would keep her away, and said no. Therefore Lucy agreed just to sleep without a light. She opened the bedroom curtains instead to light the room a little anyway.
Oh, fuck off.
Just as she began to doze off, and then the voice came very clear this time. Lucy, I'm on the top step. In the darkness of her bedroom, Lucy heard a clicking and trembling fear. She wasn't sure, but she thought she could see her bedroom door opening very, very slowly.
Oh no, but
The next morning, Lucy's parents found her at the bottom of the stairs. They guessed she had been on her way to the toilet during the night. Sorry.
She's dead.
At the night, on toilet night, and in the darkness, had slipped and fallen down the stairs, breaking her. The next morning, Lucy's parents found her at the bottom of the stairs. They guessed that she had been on her way to the toilet during the night and slipped and fallen down the stairs, breaking her neck. The antique doll was found beside her body and was buried with Lucy. Everyone said what a tragedy it was. She loved that doll, said her mother, and now they can be together forever.
Oh, fuck off, you scary cunt. I bet you, Brooklyn, you have scary stories run down.
No, I just got up on the internet. I found another one, yeah? You better survive,
Yeah.
Josh. It happened in 2009 when I was 16 years old. One day I was walking home from school and I noticed that a new family had moved into the house at the end of my street. They were a young married couple and they had a little daughter who looked like she was around 6 years old. She wore a white dress, white socks and black shoes. Her hair was long and
Listen to the story.
her hair was long and black and she was holding her doll in her arms. The doll had a white dress and long black hair as well. In fact, it almost looked exactly like a miniature version of the girl. Every day on the way home from school, I saw the little girl. She was sitting there outside her house, cradling the doll in her arms and watching me as I passed. There was something about the way she stared at me and the cold, dark look in her eyes that really unnerved me. That at night I couldn't sleep. I was plagued by very strange dreams and woke up in a cold sweat. I could only vaguely remember the dreams, but they all involved the girl with the doll. This time, on the night after night, the lack of sleep left me exhausted. There was an old lady who visited next door, and she was quite inquisitive. And she was one of those old women who knows everything about everyone, and she always eavesdrops and sticking her nose into other people's business. One day I was walking to school and she grabbed me by the arm and in hushed tones she said she had something to tell me. She wanted to talk about the family who moved into the house at the end of the street. You don't want to mess with them, she told me. They're not good people. I've heard they are always moving and never stay anywhere for long. And the daughter of theirs, did you know she's adopted? Right. And she's not even right in the head. She's not even right in the head either. I've heard rumours that she's the offspring of the devil, and that doll she carries around is not a doll at all, but the demon made her in her image. A demon made her in her image. I just rolled my eyes and walked away, dismissing the idle gossip of a crazy old woman. But how silly I was. How I wish I'd listened to the warnings of the crazy old woman. A few days later, there was a knock on our front door. When I answered it, a young woman was standing there. She was the mother of the little girl with the doll. She said, "Hello," she said. "I am your neighbour and I'd like to ask you a favour." "Sure," I replied. "What is it?" Something unexpectedly came up and she said, "I have to go on an errand and my husband doesn't get home from work until later. I'll only be gone for a few hours, but I need someone to look after my daughter while I'm away. I know it's short notice, but would you take care of her?" "Of course," I said. "What's your daughter's name?" "Lisa," the mother replied. "We need to leave now, so if you don't mind." Shut up. I followed the woman to her house and I waited while she rushed upstairs. Then she returned, leading the girl by the hand. As soon as I saw her, I was taken aback. There was something wrong with her. Her eyes were completely black, like of a shark, and she was still clutching the wretched doll in her arms. I don't know what it is about the doll that creeped me out so much. Perhaps it was the way it looked so much like the little girl.
Guys, I've got a story.
Like the little girl was disrebuting and uncanny.
That's a bush.
Before I had a chance to go to back out, the mother said goodbye and then got into the car and drove away without a word. Little Lisa reached up and took me by the hand. Her skin was ice cold to the touch, and it sent a shiver down my spine. Play with me, she said. We went upstairs into her into her bedroom. As soon as I closed the door, I began to feel uneasy. I could detect a strange, unpleasant smell in the room, but I couldn't figure out what it was or where it was coming from. I played with Lisa for about 30 minutes. Then I began to feel tightness in my chest. I broke out into a cold sweat and my stomach was turning. Yeah, I felt like I was going to vomit. I have to go, I gasped. All of a sudden, Lisa scrambled to the feet and cried out, "No, you're going to play with me forever, and we'll play all the time." She stared at me with those cold black eyes, and I felt like I was going to faint. I was frightened and wanted to get out of the room, but when I tried to open the door, the handle wouldn't turn. It began rattling. I began rattling it and pulling on it, but there was no use. I ran to the window, tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. No matter what I tried, I couldn't open it. Then I remembered the warning of the old woman and cursed myself for not listening to her. I was trembling with fear, but I decided to recite a prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. As soon as I uttered those words, the little girl let out an ear-splitting screech. She screamed so loud that I thought I would go deaf, and I had to clasp my hands over my ears. But I never stopped reciting the play. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on heaven's earth, on earth is it in heaven. The girl dropped the doll and it fell to the floor. All of a sudden it came up to life and came at me, gashing its teeth and scratching it with its clawed hands like a feral animal. I tried to kick it away, but it jumped at my neck and tried to tear up my throat. I fell backwards on the bed.
Go back a bit, go back.
What?
Go back a bit, because I wasn't here. Can you
You
go back
moved.
to where I left?
Where she dropped the doll, wasn't it? Is where she dropped the doll.
Shut up. No, just shut up.
Oh, okay, 1 minute.
Where was it just when you left?
I don't know, like a 10 second.
Brooklyn,
1 minute.
should we start from where she dropped the doll?
Yeah, okay. The girl dropped the doll and it fell to the floor. All of a sudden, it came to life and came at me, gushing its teeth and scratching with its clawed hands like a feral animal. I tried to kick it anyway, but it jumped at my neck and tried to tear my throat out. I fell backwards on the bed, desperately trying to fight off the doll. It was a trembling struggle, terrible struggle, but the doll was thrashing back and forth, scraping me and tearing at my clothes. Every time its hand got around my neck, it started to throttle me. Eventually, I got the upper hand. I grabbed it by the legs, swung it with all my might, smashing its head against the wall. Its head hit the wall so hard that it left a dent in the plaster. A crack split the doll's face in two, and thick black smoke began to pour out. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespass, as we forgive those who trespass against us. The doll lay on the floor, shaking and wriggling, flopping back and forth like a dying fish. The doll's head split wider, and smoke billowing out of it grew thicker and thicker. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Amen. When I finished recruiting the prayer, Lisa was laying in the middle of the room, unconscious. The doll was little more than a steam pile of molten plastic, hissing and bubbling on the carpet. Then Lisa's mother came home. She ran upstairs, burst into the room, demanding to know what had happened. I tried to explain, but I couldn't get the words out. I threw up all over the floor. When Lisa regained consciousness, she said that she remembered nothing at all. I looked at her eyes. The blackness was gone, and now they were a bright, vibrant shade of blue. Three years later, when she was only 9 years old, Lisa suddenly died. She drank an entire bottle. She drank an entire bottle of bleach, and it corroded her insides. She died in a tremendous pain, screaming and crying in agony as her organs slowly broke down and dissolved. But the doctors ruled it an accident. But everyone suspected she had taken her own life. Her parents were devastated. Nobody could explain why the girl, so young, would do such a thing. A week after the funeral, her mother and her father moved out the house. It held too many bad memories as they were going through Lisa's bedroom and packing up her belongings. They found something glued to the back of her mirror. It was a photo of Lisa and the doll, and on the other side, written in a child's scrawl, was a message. She has returned to us. For those who answer our call will be damned forever.
Is that the end of that story, Brooklyn?
Yeah, that one went on for quite a while.
I've got one. Right.
Oh look, I've got a viewer. Hey.
You're at home. She's home alone, and she hears on the news about a profile of a murderer who is on the loose. She looks out the sliding glass doors.
Josh, how are you surviving right now?
Her back garden, and she notices a man standing out in the snow. He fits the profile of the murderer exactly, and he's smiling at her. She gulps, picking up her phone too. She and dialing 911. You look back out the glass. She presses the phone to her ear and notices he's much closer to her now. Then she drops the phone in shock. There are no footprints in the snow. It's his reflection. It's his reflection.
Oh damn, he's right behind her!
Yep. Oh my god.
Damn, that's really short, but really bloody scary.
Brooklyn, now we know how we feel when you're bloody telling us a story.
Yeah. Better run, children!
This is a very short story. Guys. Bye, friend.
Okay, here's one.
Josh, are you still alive?
Okay. A father is laying in bed after just waking up. He grabs the baby monitor and walks to his desk in the office at home. He has his baby. Oh wow. Okay. A young boy is sleeping in his bed on a usual night. He hears footsteps outside his door and peeks out of his eyes to see what is happening. His door swings open quietly to reveal a murderer carrying the corpse of his parents. After silently dropping them, propping them up on a chair. He writes something on the wall in blood of the dead bodies, then he hides under the child's bed. The child is scared beyond belief. He can't read the writing on the wall, and he knows the man is under the bed like any child. He pretends that he sleeps through the whole night and hasn't awoken yet. He lays still as the bodies quietly hearing breathes from under his bed. An hour passes and his eyes are adjusting more and more to the darkness. He tries to make out the words, but it's a struggle. He gasps when he finally makes out the sentence, "I know you're awake," and he feels something shift under his bed.
Guys.
Was that creepy?
What? Right, I woke to the sound of a baby monitor crackling with a voice comforting my firstborn as I adjust to a new position, my arm brushed against my wife sleeping next to me.
No, you lost. I am watching you. Barbar's watching your stream.
Yeah, no. Okay, Mummy told me never to go in the basement, but I wanted to see what was making that noise. It was a sound, it sounded like a puppy, and I wanted to see the puppy. So I opened the basement door and tiptoed down a bit. I didn't see a puppy. Then Mummy yanked me out of the basement and yelled at me. Mummy had never yelled at me before, and it made me sad, and I cried. Then Mummy told me never to go into the basement again, and she gave me a cookie. That made me feel better, so I didn't ask her why the boy in the basement was making a puppy noise, or why he had no hands or feet.
Run the party for a boy, fucking party.
A man leaves his house every morning to walk to work and passes a mental hospital surrounded by a wooden fence. Every morning the patients are out in the yard and he can hear them saying in unison, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. One day he gets curious and looks through the hole in the fence. Suddenly a stick shoots out and pokes him in the eye. Fuck, he says to himself while walking away.
Don't stop leaving.
He can. 11.
Who is this fireboy kid?
Ethan, don't kick him.
He's our friend.
He's watching the stream.
Anyway, guys, I've got a story. Guys. I've got a story.
I know, Fireboy. No, you lost. I'm watching.
Guys, this father said to his daughter, right? Don't be scared of monsters. Just look for them. Look to your left, look to your right, under your bed, behind the dresser, in the closet, but never look up. She hates being seen. Why?
I just looked straight up when you said that now.
Oi, listen to Brooklyn's stories. They're worse. They're more scary.
Brooklyn, get the creepiest story ever on the internet.
Get like the most creepiest story.
Boys.
Okay.
Oi guys, the thing is, it's creepy for me because I'm upstairs in my bedroom all on my own, right? And it's pitch black outside.
Same.
And we're just saying creepy stories. Alright, well my brother's downstairs, I don't know when my brother's in the toilet, I think.
I was having a pleasant dream when I was having a pleasant dream when what sounded like a hammering woke me. After that, I could barely hear the muffled sound of dirt covering the coffin of my own screams.
Yeah, that's it. That is the whole thing.
That is creepy, isn't it?
Yeah.
This boy would basically the short version of the story was this boy was
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, just kill yourself in the game. Don't play. Just keep on telling us stories.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Go on, Dad.
I can't move, breathe or speak or hear. It's so dark all the time. If I knew it would be this lonely, I would have been cremated instead.
Bro, I'm not. What fucking stories are?
Did you just say cremated, Brooklyn?
Yeah.
It's cremated.
I got
by
a
the
blue
way.
snowball launch. Why is there only snowball launchers in RPGs?
Because it's called high explosive, pal.
Is it like a new game mode or something?
Have you not realised it? It's called high explosive.
Oh what? So the rumors were true. They did remove 50v50.
Oh my god.
I've got a legendary RPG. I don't care what you think, Archie. If you think they're scary or not, I like listening to stories. Shut up. Oh Jesus, that got close.
Fucking for real, Firebite? Firebite, just get me off.
Brennan told me to tell you, say no. Not coming down till tomorrow morning, so.
Might be on later.
He said he might be on later, but
Later. Like after midnight.
you gotta wait.
I really have that,
I just killed myself.
Why, Brooklyn, why?
Wait, Firebite, wait, can I have epic RPG? Yes.
No,
There
I
was a
don't need it
picture
because
in my phone.
What?
Obviously.
Not let me.
I
Hey,
don't- I don't
guys,
need the RPG.
There was a
I don't need the
picture.
RPG.
There was a picture in
I've
my
got,
phone
I've
of me
got a legendary
sleeping,
one.
but I live alone.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
I'm never gonna live on my
Oh,
own.
Brooklyn, listen to this, right? This is good. Right, so there was this woman, yeah? And she got given a phone off this man, right? And he said to her, right? So he said to her, take as many pictures of this phone, right? And she took pictures, right? And every time she took a picture, she read on the news, right? And it had a picture on the news of the person, yeah? And every picture she had on that phone, she looked up, right? And it was there, that person who died that day, right? And then he said, oh, and then the next day she met him and he took his phone back off her, right? And she realised that was a phone that when you put pictures on it, it killed them, right? So he said to her, do me one last favour, otherwise I'll take a picture of you and your dog, right? And then he took a picture and sent it to Josh. Can I have that, please? Anyway, so she took a picture.
I need to make it.
He took a picture, right?
You should make it when you don't need it.
He does. Look at his elf, you idiot.
He's your robot.
Right. So he took a picture of her dog and said, right.
Firebite, why
And
don't you
then
need a
the
bush?
next
I have a
day she
bush.
said, what the hell has happened? Why is
Go
my
get
dog
it.
dead? Quick, Firebite.
The blue one.
I got a creepypasta compilation that lasts for 5 hours.
Ross had an uneasy feeling about it. Mark had seen it first, and he'd fallen in love with
Okay,
it.
Brooklyn, come on, keep
She'd read the house she showed him after that.
Yeah, I'm playing them.
Chocolate box
I'm
covered
playing the stories.
skirts of the small
Turn it up louder.
village. The quirky wooden beams in the rustic lounge, the quaint thatched roof, the overgrown, bewitching garden with its secret hideaways and colourful flowers. He'd fallen for the house the moment he saw it. And from that day on, Sophie knew her fate was sealed. It was inevitable. Her husband always won. They moved in on November 11th. All their modern things looked strange amongst the old brick walls and the looming ceilings. Sophie put a juice mixer on the stone kitchen counter and stared at it,
Shit in my pants.
thinking how displaced it looked, and then how displaced she was herself. She'd always wanted to live in the city in a modern apartment, but they couldn't afford to live in the city unless they sacrificed comfortable living for squalor, and all the apartments she had shown Mark had failed to impress. Deep down, she too knew they were horrible.
Oh wow, you build the
So,
place I can actually get
here
over.
they were, in the desolate countryside, with an hour's commute to Mark's job.
Brendan, Reese, you got knocked down.
Yeah, I know I did. I didn't even know where he was. I just said rustic that. Guys, is it person you actually knocked him? Guys, is there a med kit I can have?
Yeah, there is.
I need a med kit. Yes, can I have it? Let me come and get it.
Eyes open shade.
Yeah, I'm coming to get it.
Hey guys, there's one thing that will never be as creepy as this.
Knock that door. 5, 6.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your doors. 5, 6, get the crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late.
9, 10, never
Sleep again. 11, 12, Freddy's coming for you.
for you. 3, 4, Freddy's not gonna.
Okay, yeah, guys, yeah. Do you know all the other stories that that I told you? I read them off the internet, yeah. But this one is true. This one is about where my dad used to live when he was a little boy. Yeah. So basically, when my dad was a little boy, he moved to a new house when he was little, and like they had a fireplace and a carpet right in front of it, and sometimes when they sat down around the fireplace, they saw a lump in the carpet, but they never questioned it. Then one day, yeah, they got like curious about it, so they asked the original owners of the house what it was, and they said it was the place where their dog used to sleep.
You want a turn?
But he died.
Oh god.
What? Yeah, I get to sleep down here, but I hate when I have to charge my.
Guys, we get to see if Fortnite telling the truth about the game thing that's free. Save the world.
I just push it over. Daddy looks for it to not to freeze.
If you don't
Brooklyn,
include
tell more
us,
creepy
it's
stories.
free. So take away free, that means there's 21 people left. There's 21 people left, Fireboy.
Hi, Brooklyn. Adam's gonna ring you on Snapchat, but he's gonna ring you on my iPad, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, 5 by more, yeah.
2255.
2255.
2255.
Yeah, 5 by more, yeah.
I know what you're on about. No, we're not saying your name. There's a game with these two characters. Yeah, there's a game with these two characters. One's called Fireboy and one's
I'm
called
talking to Adam. Like,
Yeah,
Adam,
one's called Water Girl and one's called Fireboy. Fireboy and Water Girl. That's what the game's called. You can
Hello?
search the game, Fireboy and Water Girl. I know, but there's also a game.
that guy's
There's a game called Fireboy and Water Girl.
Hello, Josh.
I'll make it.
Hello.
It's actually pretty warm in here.
Is Adam around your house?
Yeah,
Why
he's
is
in my house
everything
right
wrong
now.
with me? Why has no one been here before yet? Guys, no one's been where I am.
What the fuck is he?
Oh, guys, literally no one has been here, I think. Everything's just still here. Are you? Do you want me to head round and help you guys?
That would be appreciated if you could.
I'm heading around. Oh, no,
Yeah?
not. I'm stuck. Oh no! Look when I joined you in Deathland.
Yeah, Adam?
You better crawl into. Bye, guys.
Ooh, drop that stock close.
Oh, it's gonna say.
Damn, he took my legendary.
Yeah, Adam? Adam? Yeah?
1, 2, Freddy's coming for me. 7, 8. 7, 8. Gonna suffocate.
Good job, man.
Well, I won him.
Huh?
You won it.
Yeah, I
Oh, you
won.
won it, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Wait. Wait, what's that?
It's seven.
Yeah, I've got him on Snapchat call.
Oh, yeah, I won.
Adam, look at me, you tomato head.
Adam, look at me, you tomato head.
Nothing scarier than this.
Hey, Brooklyn!
Hi! Hi, Jason!
I'm not Jason, you fat pig.
You look like Jason!
Hey, Adam.
Where's Jason?
Jason, come in here! Jason!
Oh, fuck, what a cramp.
I got a friend here, he wants to see you.
Hi, Jason! Is that Jake? Hello? Hey, Jason! Do you know earlier today when Adam said you were my friend? Adam? Jason? Jason? Jason, when Adam told you when Adam told you earlier when Adam, oh.
My friend, Dad, look. Hey,
Hey.
Brooklyn.
Hello.
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 Tell more stories.
Once upon a time. Okay, I'll tell you a story. Once upon a time there was a Josh. The end.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
What the fuck?
Oh, he actually hurt.
Hey Josh, can we go now and save the world?
I know, Brooklyn. I'm gonna have a get.
Oh, please.
Friday 13th. No, I'm gonna go on Friday 13th to let Adam have a go.
Okay. I'm gonna go offline. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I'm gonna spend New Year's Eve with my family.